Doozer shop. I've been busy. Just coming out of my house. Heading towards the shop. Been working outside last couple days. Cut down this sweet gum tree. It was kind of diseased and crooked, so I got that done. Opens up a nice little area. Yeah, I'm always gonna like park another vehicle somewhere, something. That's cool. So that's gone. Hard to see, but there was a giant pine tree there that needed to be cut. Much like those giant pine trees. This one that was there was infested with ants and was leaning the wrong way towards the house. So that's kind of good. That's kind of nice. Opens up the whole area. You can't see maybe where the ladder is. Back behind my house, I clean that area out too. You scrape with the tractor. So I thought I'd show you my little woods area I cleaned up. You can see the shop over there. And I'm behind the house. And there's my metal rack of Doozer steel and aluminum. So there's that ladder as a reference from the previous shot. But what I got going on here, this is like my back patio, steps, concrete, and I've been cleaning up coming from my driveway. All this was covered in vines, I think called Virginia creeper vine. And you can see on the bottom of the frame is my my patio. But nice little area back here in the woods now that it's cleaned up a little bit. I hope to do something, I don't know, a little nicer with all this. Like all this area will come grown in with these creeper vines. Like it'll look like that, right? In like a month it goes from that in the spring coming off of winter to like that, right? It's just ridiculous how fast. And all I did was scrape with my tractor blade. I put the blade down and I scraped and it picks up all the vines, and then I just pick them up and put them in the brush pile. Because all this stuff is connected, right? All whatever this is. So some of that stuff is just like ivy, you know, ground cover ivy, and then some of the heavier stuff is Virginia creeper, I think is what it's called. But that's what I've been working on. If you look in my woods, I still got down trees to pick up. But it's grown up a little bit too here in the spring. But there's the side of my house. But anyways, yeah, I got a door that comes out the back of my master bedroom, which is kind of nice. I need to do something with this patio area because it's just sort of unkept at the moment. I mean, this is just, it's ridiculous how this, it's like a tropical climate here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's ridiculous. But anyways, yeah, you just scrape this out with a New Holland tractor with the bucket. Boy, is that thing sweet. Anyhow, just want to give you a little update showing you what else I was doing the last couple days around the homestead here. Down in the back of the house here at Doozer shop. Alright guys, got the New Holland tractor in the background there. Been working outside, got some stuff done. Let me go and take you in the shop and I'll show you I got the ridge reamer and I got a piston out of my 264 International engine, so let's check it out. My giant belt sander keeps getting shuffled around. Oh well, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. So let's check out. I don't have the lights on in here. Well, let's kind of show you what I got. Maybe you can see. Got the number one piston out. The rod journal looks not too bad. Not too bad at all. So I'm happy with that. Let's go into the shop and show you what the actual piston looks like. Alright, here we are in the shop. We're going to check out the piston I pulled out of the 264 International engine. Let's go see what it looks like. Alright. What the deal was is those cylinders got about a 5/1000 wear ridge at the top. Not much. It is a 19,000 mile engine, and so I bought this ridge reamer to cut the ridge so I could get the piston out. And it's like from the 1920s or 1930s. It's made by Lisle, L-I-S-L-E. And it's pretty cool. It's new old stock. I paid $20 for this and $10 shipping, so 30 bucks. And it's got rollers that expand on the bore. And what it's got a single point cutter. Hope that's getting in focus. It's like a round lathe tool bit with some positive rake and some clearance, and that dude right there is set to the exact same height as the rollers. There's two rollers, and this roller has a piece of felt. I don't know if you can see it, but that does the cutting, okay? And the newer ridge reamers, Lisle still makes them. They're different these days. They're made in China. They're made out of either zinc or aluminum, and they're really kind of not so nice. This thing has like a 40 thread per inch. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to focus. Feed on it. So kind of neat, and it's got even a split adjustable nut type of feature, and you expand it with the screwdriver slot and you turn it with the square. So that's neat. It worked perfect. I did one cylinder. I'm going to show you guys how this works. I'm going to get some video of me doing it in the engine. But here's the piston. I pulled out of my engine. So at first, let me see here. The bearing, get you a little slow. It looks a little scratched, but it's really not. I mean, it's scratched just a smidge. But as far as wear, nothing that'll cut your fingernail. I've seen engines running on the copper worn through the babbitt layer, and they ran fine. They didn't knock, you know. So, and this uses bolts. It's got female threads in there. The cap is, I forget where the cap is. So that's in good condition. The crank's in good condition. Let me flip this around here. All right, here's the dome. That number 1, I stamped on the dome. I got a number number stamp set. So I stamped that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for my own reference. Now here is the international numbers. It's got front. It's a whole bunch of numbers. See that A? That A is a size. My block is stamped with an A also. So that means it's like a few tenths under or a few tenths over. and they size the pistons A, B, C, D, I guess. So that's what that's all about. Look at the, let me turn it sideways. I don't know if I can make it stay. Look at the pop-up dome on this thing, man. If you didn't know any better, you'd think that was an 11-to-1 piston, but I think it's like 7.5-to-1. These could be high-altitude pistons. Ordered special, because this was a military truck, bought brand new by the Navy. So these might be a whopping like 8-to-1. I don't know, it sure looks radical. I don't know how many cc the combustion chamber is. It doesn't look too big. Maybe 80 cc? I don't know. But that's a hell of a dome. Don't you guys agree? The bore is 3 11/16 for 3.688. That's the size of the piston. So, let me show you what was going on. So you can see the black and the discoloration. So this aluminum color, this silver color was just, you know, the skirts are cam ground. So that was in the bore, and the darker areas are, I don't know if that's aluminum oxide. You can see this cylinder was full of water. You can see the corrosion, the white aluminum corrosion. These rings are stuck in the gaps. That's why I needed the ridge reamer, okay? If these rings were not stuck in the gaps, I could have probably, when I hammered the underside of the piston up with that piece of wood I stuck down in the cylinder, it probably could have compressed the rings to get over that. It's only a 5/1000th or so gap, not gap, the ridge at the top of the cylinder is only about 5/1000ths, but because these rings are stuck hard, they couldn't compress. So I had to use that ridge reamer. That's the only way I was getting them out, unless I pulled the crank and tried to pull them out the bottom. But, you know, my $30 total purchase, there you go. So now, the bottom gap is a 1/16 and the top gap is an 1/8. So that's absolutely representative because they're stuck in the ring grooves. That's what the gap is in the bore, okay? Actually, this is 70 thousandths and this is 110 thousandths. Well, let's call it a 1/16 and an 1/8 for, you know, among friends. I can't get them out. I mean, I tried to pick them out and I've already, you know, got a little, I don't know what to do to get them out. I was going to heat the piston with the oxyacetylene torch, and I think aluminum melts at like 800 or 900 degrees. I'm only going to get it like maybe, you know, 400 or 500 degrees to try and loosen up some of that corrosion. Now, if you watch Doozer's channel, you might have heard me talk about getting stuck bolts loose. The reason heat works when you're trying to get rusted bolts loose, or what have you, is the oxide form of iron, rust, or the oxide form of aluminum, the corrosion. It has different properties, right? The oxide form of most metals is non-electrically conductive. That's not true with silver or gold. But aluminum and steel becomes a non-conductor of electricity. It becomes very brittle. The oxide form of iron and aluminum is considered a ceramic. So ceramics are brittle. So what do we know about that? So if you heat this, because the oxide form and the base metal have different coefficients of expansion, the oxide will get crushed from the expansion of the base metal, be it the steel or the aluminum, doesn't matter. They're going to expand, and it's going to put pressure and further crush that corrosion. the thing is, these rings were such a tight fit in the grooves initially. I don't know how much compressing and whatever is going to go on. I mean, somewhat, but I think iron oxide expands 20 times compared to the base iron or steel component. So that means it's wedged in there pretty good. I don't know the number for aluminum. But anyways, there is, I've read, I don't know, there's something called, I've heard it called alumina or alum, A-L-U-M, alum. It's supposed to, I guess it's an old chemically name for some kind of a solution that will dissolve steel or possibly iron, but not hurt the aluminum. If you guys know what that is, I mean maybe it's phosphor hyperchlorate or something. Those are the chemical names I understand, but alum, it's just like witch hazel. What the hell's witch hazel? I don't know. I don't know. But there was old-timey names before we actually invented the field of chemistry, right? Or discovered the field of chemistry. I guess we invented it. So if there's something, if you guys have a solution, all I know how to do is to heat this up to like 500 degrees with the torch, let it cool, heat it up, let it cool, heat it up, let it cool, do that a few times, heat cycle it, and then try to pick it out. I'll probably break these, but I need new rings, and I might as well get 10 thou over, make them file fit rings. Gen Sales has parts for this, JENSALES.com. I forget his name. One of my subscribers tipped me up to Gen Sales. Anyhow, so that's the piston. I've talked quite a bit about that. So that's the plan, to get those rings out. I think the piston's fine. I think the rod's fine. I think the crank and the bearings are fine. I'm going to plastic gauge them, but they don't look bad. I mean, I don't even think I should plastic gauge them because the bearings look great. So that's that. What else has Doozer been up to in the shop? All right, that was a deal, and that is cool. I am glad I bought the vintage version. If anybody knows a date that this Lyle reamer, you know, I don't know. Pause it if you want. Read that, whatever. The mighty Pratt & Whitney. I got a treat for you guys. All right. So I've got the tool post on here, right? And I've been indicating stuff. So look what I got, right? Let me put you on a pod and let me show you what I got here. All right, guys. Let me show you what I got here. It's a little dial indicator setup I got put together. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I finally made something up. So I'm going to show you what this is. This is a T-shaped piece of steel. It's a 1/4 inch plate, right? And this indicator, I've got painted it black. It's hard to see. It's just a 1/4 inch stud, 1/4-20 stud coming off the back of the indicator. And maybe you can see I soldered it on. It was just a flathead screw that I ground flat. Actually, I turned it flat, and then I just soldered it on, centered on the back of that indicator because it was a flat back. So, and you might notice this nylock lock nut, I got a couple washers. That's a wave washer, a spring washer in between. You see that? So I got the lock nut, a nice 1/4 inch heavy pattern washer, a wave washer, another flat washer, and you don't really need them, and then that plate, which is a 1/4 inch plate. And then I just, like I said, soldered it with just 50/50 rosin core solder or whatever it was. But the cool thing is it turns, right? You know, it can go straight, it can go the other way. That's why I got the wave washer, right? So all I did is I cut this out. I cut it shape on the bandsaw, and then I milled it, so I got the nice corner radii in there. But the nice thing is I just put it in a tool post, a tool holder rather. So this is an AXA. A lot of you smaller lathe guys got AXAs, and it works out really well. And that's fine. You know, normally you'd have a you know, your cutting bit in there, and this is a 1/2-inch cutting bit with a carbide tip, you know, standard. But what's nice about it is the tip ends up, you know, almost at the top of this slot, so the indicator tip, everything lines up the proper height, you know, so that works. So you want to indicate something. You come in and boop. Let's say I want to zero it out. And I've got some run out there, not much, 2 thou, right? And if I want to indicate the face, run out, okay? Then I just flip that guy around and indicate, you know, the face, right? And then you got some, I don't know if you can see that, but got some run out on the face of that dowel pin, because it's not a ground finish, it's just a bologna sandwich finish. So the cool thing is, what I just did, I switched position, right? I put it back over there and I just flip it around, right? This is handy as a shirt pocket, right? This is, you know, beautiful. And then you can, so you do your radial run out, and then you do your axial run out on the radius and then along the axis. So that's cool. Instead of switching it, what you can do is just, you know, move it over and just point it straight out. I mean, whatever you want to do, whatever you think is faster, you know, that's fine. You know, whatever you think is going to work. I got a little small part here, but you know, it can be used in a lot of different instances. Now, I guess I'll use the same setup. This is a you know, magnetic base. This is a good one. I think this is made in Switzerland. The name on it is let me loosen the HG. I don't know what HG stands for, but it's German, HG. But anyhow, what I wanted to show you is this, the gauge on it. So this is a group 2. That's a 2-inch face. I don't know. I don't think group 2 means 2-inch face. So that's it's called AGD, American Gauge Division or something. I don't know. But that's a number 2 size indicator. That's a number 1 size indicator. See how it's smaller? That's a AGD 1. And this is an AGD 0. And it's nice and tiny. It's got about a 1-inch face on it. That's got about 1.5 inch face. This is about a 2-inch face. So you can see the 3 different kinds of dial indicators that are available. And you know the test indicators. Everyone knows the stare at last word, right? And everybody knows the Brown and Sharp, more modern style of indicator, you know. So this will grab the dovetail of an indicator, right? It'll grab the dovetail, or it'll grab a an 8mm round or 5/16 round, is what that is all about. But one of the things that I kind of did is this. You can kind of see I made a mount for it, right? So it has a lug back, which is a straight lug out the back, and I think that's an 832 threaded cap screw. And I took a piece of aluminum, and I just made a flat piece of aluminum. I milled it for proper width for a nice snug fit. And another 632, 832 socket head cap screw, two 832 screws to this piece of brass, which is fits inside the mount of this this indicator holder. But it's really nice. It's so compact, and a lot of times you want that linear push, because this is actual reading, okay? This is actual thousands. When you have one of these indicators like this, you know, you've got the cosine error, right? So if you want to measure straight on, you push it up or you push it down, and there's a cosine error. If this is like, if you got it at like some Dorcas 45 degrees and you pushing straight on, your measurement is not 1-to-1, it's 0.707 or whatever it is. So you got to be always cognizant of cosine error with test indicators. With regular indicators, or some people call them plunger type indicators, you know, it's a straight on actual, and usually when you're indicating something in the chuck, it does not matter, right? It really doesn't matter. Let me kind of put this up here, and no, I'm doing this dorkified. Here we go. I had it in the wrong orientation. So that's cool. That's how I would use it. I mean that's beautiful, right? I can. It's such a nice thing. Like I said, here's the last word. It's very small. This is a bigger dial, Brown and Sharp. You know, it's kind of in between. Yeah, why not? There you go. It's kind of in between size. But anyways, I really like it. Not too many folks use these number 0 indicators. This is Federal. Federal has a code. They don't call it number 1, they call it A, right? And I'm sorry, this is not a number 1, this is a 0. So that's a 1, that's a 0, okay? Federal does not call it a 0, Federal calls it an A series. Federal calls the number 1 style the B series, and Federal calls the number 2 style the C series. So, so that's basically it. I just wanted to show you, I'm really happy that I came up with this, you know, switcheroo indicator deal, you know, and you just move it, you know, however you need to. But that's kind of what I've been working on here in the shop. My switch around indicator, and I hope you guys build one for yourself. It's a lot of fun coming up with this, and it's super simple. I've seen, I think Edge Tool makes one with an indicator holder, and they make one with 2 indicators, so you have freaking 2, I don't know. But this little base is very handy. They make cheap imports. Noga makes one just like it. The HG, I forget. I got the paperwork on it. I forget what brand it is. But it's something Swiss or German, HG. I think Steven Goatswinner has one. But again, this is my little, I mean, this is like a, I don't know, maybe an hour, hour and a half of fiddling around to make this up. And so that's cool. And these Federal indicators, it says A10 or A16, what does it say? Oh, A3Q. There, A3Q. So the A means AGD0. So that's cool. But I got some more. The other ones I got don't have a lug back. I might make a little pinch, a clamp that pinches here and then goes underneath and has the same kind of deal to take advantage of my other non-lug back Federal number zeros. But yeah, just wanted to show you that. Thought that was fun. Always fun in Doozer shop.